Miguel Dubs, Pincha Concha, but I may be mispronouncing that, but Joe Hacius, Maliro, and Wise Tees Tamu playing for Texas A&M. Now, I've not seen them play yet, so I'm looking forward to how they play and what I might be able to pick up on them.
Yeah, and the flip side, like you've been talking about, we do have that Loyola esports team. Names with this season we are definitely a lot more familiar with. You're looking at Mary popping off. I give free hugs, just Jalen, memes, and Mucho Megs. And I think the ones you were looking towards is Drip Dairy. They aren't here at the moment, but you do have players like I give free hugs, Jalen, and Mary popping half. These players able to get massive opening opportunities for their team, and in doing so, really just setting the pace of the game. The typical bends of Oregon Calf and Bank are there, but not in the order you expect, and that they're going to be popular. Oh, actually, we are going to be coming into the game very quickly. Make sure we don't waste any time. Now, Border is going to be this opening map. I think definitely that map with the aggressive play style that we saw. I think with the fact that Loyola on attack, I think this does lend into the fact that double check that in a sec. But Jackal being taken off the board straight away, Carpi, that definitely sets a strong precedent, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, Jackal is one of these high caliber operators in Rainbow just because of the sheer fact is you can see where people have been, and you don't particularly have to scan their footprints to see they've been there. They will just light up in fluorescent green, yellow, or red, or blue, I think is the other color. So definitely a good ban coming out there from the Jackal, followed up by the Osa. You know, pretty much like a mirror, I guess, but Osa can be countered if you are cracked on the sticks. You might be able to counter Osa.
The sticks.
The sticks.
Yeah, well, an operator that could very heavily counter an operator like Osa when you think that the fuse is going down in the last couple of 30 seconds. And if there is a Solace down below, that could cause a lot of trouble. That's not going to be the case because that's going to be taken off the board as well. Joining them, Fenrir. I mean, these are operators that can really shut down that like end round position. I mean, there's a Solace, there's an Osa. The last thing you need when you're trying to stop a defuse going down is an Osa shield. You really don't want to be dealing with that. As a roamer, getting rid of that Jackal, it's huge. It's needed. But the Solace and Fenrir bans on the attack, the importance just really can't be understated.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more there. But nonetheless, we've got Texas A&M starting on defense and Loyola on attack. Border is one of these maps that I feel like you can favor it in the defender's side if you manage to open up certain walls and certain angles. You'll be able to swing it around in your way. But then again, you could also argue that it's an attacker-sided map due to the sheer fact, like the openness of the map. There's so many windows, so much destructible like floor. There's a lot to work with. So I want to see how Texas A&M use the destructibility of Border to their favor.
Yeah. Now, like you say, it's a map that you really can just open up things, and from attacking point of view, it's not necessarily an attacker-sided map to start, but it definitely lends itself to a team that can take that early control. They can take those key positions, and in doing so, that map pressure then starts lending it to the attackers, like you say. Archive Armory going to be that first site. That's going to be where we're leading up to at the moment. Like you said, that mirror is going to be brought out, and it's an operator that on this site, I think it's a must bring. I mean,
yeah,
the potential to shut down that armory plant if you have a mirror window over in that half wall, the amount of control it gives you over towards Archive if you place it on that half wall, it can really shut down a lot of opportunities the attackers try to create, something we've already just spoke about. The Thatcher on the board will open up this push very quickly. It doesn't really need to take any more time to realize the importance of that. Mary popping off, going on the flank, maybe looking for that breach, so maybe that second prong that we've seen on strong teams from maps like Border.
I mean, are we going to see them run in here, give a big distraction for, like you just said, for Mary popping off and just Jalen to open the breach here? They're gonna have to time it perfectly if they want to like distract the enemy team. But the first kill of the match will go to Joe Hashis onto Loyola Esports 1, and it's a Thatcher.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Yeah, so talking about the importance of that Thatcher isn't going to be anymore. Let's talk about the importance of that Thatcher being taken off the board. Like I say, Joe on that roam game has been able to take out that key player, and in doing so, very much stated himself as a big, big problem area for these attackers. Now that breach can't get opened up very easily, but the question is, can they get a refrag? Peeking their head, Joe Hashish is going to tease just a little bit to Jalen, but they've already won their one. They can just waste that time now. The frag grenade will get pulled. It isn't going to find its mark, and the Jaeger will be able to just back up. The question is, do they play that long game? Do they wait? Or do they try and counter the rest of the attacking side? They've rotated over towards Offa. They're aware. Office, they're aware. They're not really going to get in on that side, but that mirror window getting spotted is going to cause issues. At least giving away the position of the attackers. A peek comes out, but doesn't find anything. With 1 minute left on the clock as this wall starts to open up. Things really start to heat up in this first round.
Yes, and truly, and we still got Joe Hashish here on the roam. No one's managed to pick him up as of now, and I don't think they're aware. Or maybe Jalen. I see him peeking. Is he aware that Joe Hashish has walked all the way to east and is just battling his time? The real question is, yes, he is. He's able to hold out the angle and pick off his head. Bring us back down to a 4 versus 4, but there's less than 35 seconds in the round. It's not looking great for Loyola, especially considering there's a Valk in play, but I give 3 hunks. He's going to be able to pick the head of Concha Concha over there as he gets booed.
Yeah, jumping in memes is going to get taken down. Miguel, that plan has been stopped with 15 seconds on the clock. The push comes in. I give free hands has to make something happen. And with Jalen on the cover, that's going to be the case. Miguel on their own has to get the other defender to side. Twice the size, you have to help out. But as Miguel goes down in the 3 versus 1, you become the attacker yourself. The situation looks dire. They know exactly where they are. And just Jalen's going to swing and close things down, giving Loyola Esports a well-earned first round there, Carpi.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Loyola, I didn't expect them to win that, quite honestly with you. Texas A&M, they had the intel, they had the Valkyrie cams, they had the C4. You saw it in Wisest Eyes pocket there towards the end of the round. You saw him have the C4. So was the communication there from Texas A&M not as on point as it should be? Or has Loyola just managed to get into their groove in round 1 and now nothing's going to stop them for the rest of the day?
Attackers need to locate.
I think the main thing in that first round that we saw was Loyola really just not getting disheartened. Obviously, they lost that first player. They lost Loyola Esports 1, the best name in the lobby. I'm not going to lie. It really is inspirational stuff.
He's repping.
They lost that player very early on, and well, that didn't catch them off guard or anything. Loyola basically said, well, that break side's not really going to work. Try and get that refrag if you can, 3 hugs, but we're just going to rotate around. There's no reason going into that army side. If you cannot get the breach open, that suddenly becomes a massive kill zone when they can just swing the chance with a shotgun or a pre-fire. It's a very difficult position to be in, especially without that wall being open to provide that cover. So Loyola, they made the right call. They rotated and they said, okay, well, let's get the wall open, jump in, and win our gunfight. So they were able to do it. They brought it back, and I think they just picked their gunfights well on site.
Yeah, they really did. They were able to. They managed to just somehow get control of Archive. They were able to hold out the angles, and from there, Texas A&M were just sitting ducks towards them. Once again, we've got the Valkyrie pick out here, so are we going to see the cameras being used more towards a plant denial or aggression for the roamers to swing upon? This is what I want to see, how they play it out.
That breach is looking at getting open. I think Loyola's just going to play it very, very safe here, but Miguel very much ready, looking to keep that breach shut. Gemma will have that EMP landing nearby. The question is, does the shotgun try and clear it out? No, it can't. And that breach will get open, something we didn't see in that last round. And the defenders of Texas A&M, they need to change things up. And this is the opportunity to do so. While that pressure is still over towards that Archive side, they're all playing a lot tighter over towards side. Wisest Eyes down below can use those C4s, but Joe Hashish takes a bit of damage. Doesn't get taken down, so all 10 players up still.
Yep, we see the gridlock tracks go up towards east stairs, blocking off the Valkyrie from potentially coming up. So if she does want to come up, she's going to have to make a hell of a lot of noise to get past the attackers here. Now we see the Valkyrie cams in play. They're getting the drones in. Drones are being spotted. They know what they're droning. You're going to see the other wall being opened up here. So the pinch, it's coming. It's working its way towards, you know, Loyola's favor here. But you can see 2 frags come out here. See, oh, that is an aggressive mirror right there. That mirror, I reckon, might have them around.
Yeah, because they can't get the frag grenade over that wall. It's going to be very, very difficult to do, especially with those magnets.
Oh, from
Speaking
below.
of the mine, they will be down on half wall and will be taken down by Jalen from below with the frag grenades. But looking over towards Archive Fountain, that's a very strong position. The reinforcements are there. That Thermite doesn't have any more breaches in pocket. You have Ace on the board. If you're on the attacking side, it's going to be difficult anyway. The well Dubs with the swings able to take out that Thatcher, but the damage has already been done. So I give free hugs, has to take that point view mine out. Mr. Laro and Jamin each find a frag. That's going to be the mirror taken down by Give Free Hugs, and suddenly sights opened up. 2 defenders left on the board, one of them not on site. Will have to go for retake over towards 90. He looks for the ace, spots the head, but doesn't realize they're alone on site, and Mary popping off closes things down as Memes takes out the last player on site.
Oh, Loyola are getting themselves into the positions. It's siege timing almost for Texas A&M. They're watching, and then at the very last second, they'll switch off to a different angle, and Loyola will jump through a window or open up a breach, and they'll just come out of nowhere here. I'm liking this from Loyola a lot. I feel like, you know, last week we saw them settle into their map pick because their map pick was Border last week, and they settled into it. They struggled on Oregon, but on Border, you could really see the confidence step up, and they've carried it on from last week quite clearly. You know, 2 rounds up now. So I want to see if they're just going to continue to keep on pushing. And we didn't really see any of these pushes last week. I'll be honest with you. We saw the usual just try go through the breach and up metal. We saw a little bit of down the stairs take, but we didn't see the whole archive, you know, split and pinch. To be honest with you.
No, it was very much okay, we'll give it a go. We'll just kind of head into that border site. We'll see what sticks. This definitely feels a lot more calculated. Like, they've definitely looked at it. They've worked out, okay, well, these are these key situations. These are these key positions to take. This is how we want to go about things. This is the job of everyone. So that finger needs to be downstairs to get the utility, get that half-wall player. There very much is a coordinated approach behind it. It's very visible to see the work that's gone through. And I think Texas A&M, maybe going back to this top floor a 3rd time isn't necessarily the right way to go. We're looking at that halfway point in the round, and we've only seen this bomb site so far. I don't know. I want to see a little bit more of the roam game. Texas A&M haven't really explored that so far. So going to that bottom floor might allow it to free up a bit. Right now, though, yet again, another different mirror setup, a much more aggressive one, Carpi. One that might just spell disaster for these repelling players as Loyola Esports gets taken down straight away. Yet again, the first pick, and that's got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's a big one as well. Your Thatcher's off the board, and not only that, but I believe you've got 2 drones as well. So drone economy is sitting in for Loyola here. You know, it's 4 drones down, but it's not terrible. You've got 6 drones to work with, and you've got I Give Free Hugs below right now, potentially looking to just open up the turret if he wants to. Is he waiting? Ah, see, look, now we're getting the pings out. This is what I call teamwork. Oh, is the meter away? Yes? No? Maybe.
I don't think so. The turret goes both ways.
Ooh. Someone's going to die to that. I'm calling it. Someone's dying to it, but Mr. Lyro is going to take a fair amount of damage. I believe it's someone. Is it who's just frag grenaded him? Maybe
that would be Free Hugs.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was a frag grenade.
Loyola do like their frags from below. We saw it last round come out,
and it's very good because you can see right there, Free Hugs was able to get Pinchy Conscious, gets the mute jammer on the wall as well, and suddenly things open up. 2 attackers still with those heart breach gadgets, and with that ace, you don't have to get up close. Wiser Styles is going to move into that 90 position. The smoke is there, but the Warden has the eyes. He's able to take down backs just back into break. The question is, are they going to want to play that roam game, or are they going to back on site? Realistically, with that player advantage, they might as well stay where they are. They might as well try and keep that advantage. Wiser Styles is able to find another Carpi.
He's living up to his name, but Miguel, he's gonna find one onto I give free hugs. Mary popping off, playing back. He's in a 1v5 situation. It's not looking particularly great for him. Is he going to attempt to reflect on the round? Is the mute from the right? He's going to pick up one. No one's going to swing him almost immediately, but he knows someone's going to close in from double door. He sees the head, but looks away at the wrong time. And Pincha Concha, who dropped below, manages to pick him off there.
Yeah, too many angles, not enough guns covering them at the end there, unfortunately. But okay, Texas A&M picking up that first round as we head into the halfway mark of this game. Oh, this split, sorry. And that's a lot more what I wanted to see. There was a very aggressive start out. They took out that Thatcher, that key operator. They realized every round so far, which granted has only been 2, that approach has been made towards that main wall. It's been successful once, it's failed once. They will give it another go, most likely, because they have that pinch. I think Wisest Eyes played it very well on that 90 position. They realized, okay, well, they're not going to come CC now. I can just play very aggressive. That smoke comes out. It's like a dinner bell.
Yeah, I mean, Texas A&M, they've got like a good amount. They've got 3 C4s usually that they're taking. The one round I say this, they're not taking 3 C4s, but you know, we saw the mute, or we saw the mirror, and we saw the Valkyrie. Each have a C4 here. You can play passive. You've got the Valkyrie cameras. They're not bringing anyone to counter the Valkyrie. There's no IQ. You know, they're not looking for those cameras. You could play passively, but then you've also got the mirror, which allows you to play much more aggressive and much more upfront. If you want, mirror could place, you know, a window far off sight. You see Joe Hashish is reinforcing this wall over here. Someone could slap a mirror on there, and it could easily benefit to your roamers. You could even go as far as to say that you could put a mirror window up the stairs and get your roamer to play with it, get to pick, retaliates back further, or retaliates back to site.
Yeah, but there's one operator that's really sticking out for me on this one. That is that castle.
Of course.
A site like this, having that castle has the opportunity to shut down a lot of freedom of movement for the attackers. You either sacrifice time or that soft breach utility. The castle can go down below or can go up top, depending on how the defenders want to play. Ram going to start things off very, very close to the mute right now. Able to see that long line of sight being opened up to the side of the defenders. That's an interesting one to see, and that's something I really, really like. They're realizing that these long lines of sight are what's working. So Pincha Concha might be the one to be careful. It would be Joe Hashish though, or Wisest Eyes with those 1.5s as well. Very long angle, one to just really shut down the Loyola team, and as such, as you can see, Loyola, they're going to have to rotate around right into the waiting arms of Joe Hashish.
I feel that Loyola, they have the drones, they have the eyes to use here, and I feel that they read into it. You can see that Texas A&M are quite spread apart. You know, no one's. Oh, what a shot from Wisest Eyes as he takes I give free hugs to the Shadow Realm. So he looks to aggress, he looks to drop here. Josie is going to pick one onto memes as he drops on top of the counter. Is Loyola Esports one going to be aware? No, Joe Hashish is going to pick up his second one, leaving Loyola in a 2 versus 5 scenario.
Yeah, and like you say, 4 drones for the attackers right now. Mary Popenoff isn't going to bother with one, as they're able to find that Wisest Eyes. They still have that player upstairs to deal with before they can look towards that soft breach. 1 minute on the clock. They're not really going to have much time to work with regardless. They have a rough idea of where this player is, but the pinch cannot come through with those castle barricades being so important. And here, Carpi, is where the droning is going to be essential. Aware of where that shotgun's playing. They're going to go for that wallbang. They're not going to be able to find it. So they're going to have to rotate around. Suddenly exposing to the vert. Unaware. He's watching. Miguel Dubs will spot the player. Will have to pull out the shotgun as the swing comes through, but it's not going to happen. And Mary Popenoff wins that gunfight. As Joe Hashish picks up not 1, not 2, but a 3rd. leaving Mary Poppinoff in a 1 versus 3. It's very much doable with this 1.5 and the R4C. Looks for a player, gets the trade, but isn't able to get anything else, Carpi. And that is another round as we see Texas A&M tie things up, and very well played from them. This is night and day.
Yeah, it's almost like they've switched 5 different players out for 5 new players. They were very confused to start off with these first 2 rounds. They were not sure how to play, whether we should play too aggressive, whether we should play too passive. They had the opportunities to play aggressive, the opportunities to play passive. They just didn't know how to use those opportunities that were available to them. And now all of a sudden it's clicked in their heads. Cogs are whirring, brains are working. We're seeing them, bring Loyola into fights that they're not going to win. And then they're just picking them off. I mean, Joe Hashish, he managed to get 3 kills there. You can't let that happen. You should not let anyone go more than 2 kills in a round. And even then, you have to have a long think to yourself, how did they get a double kill without getting traded out? Or how did we let two of our players get picked off them before any damage was done?
Especially while playing isolated on that roam.
Yeah. Because he wasn't really, I mean, he was kind of backed up by Wisest Eyes there as they, hopped into Archives. But it wasn't until later that he was backed up. So I feel like Loyola, they've got, look at their drone economy. They've got 8 drones to start a round off. And a lot of these drones will sit in their pockets. I reckon the 3 drones that we currently see, I don't think we're going to see them used. I think they're going to sit in their pocket.
Yeah, I think that's something Loyola need to bring back. I mean, it's something you always harp on about, Carpi. You love drone economy, even in ranked, where it's the furthest thing from a competitive setting. That drone economy is something that's constantly at the back of the mind because of the information it gives. It can make our life so much easier. Like you say, it has that information. Where are these players playing at? What defensive setup do they have? For example, where are these frost mats going to be on that top floor? How are we going to deal with them? Where are these castle barricades? There's so much information that can be given without exposing a player to that defensive line of sight, but their danger, you really can't ignore it. Right now, though, the defenders in a very nice setup, a very fluid setup. They're not committing to one specific position. But right now, it looks like Joe Hashish is in the wrong place, wrong time. Double kill, though, as I get 3 hugs, is able to get a trade. And like you say, Carpi, why is this player getting a trade? Well, good positioning. Aware that, well, you've just got a first pick. Someone's going to want that refrag. And Wiser's Eyes look to take that position, slow things down on that top floor. They've already got the pick. They just need to waste even more time. Meme's got to make sure that doesn't happen. With the rappel in, finds that pick. And now that soft breach can begin. As long as Loyola are confident that this top floor is clear, Carpi.
I mean, they can be confident, I'd say, because there's no C4s that are going to, fly up from below. There's not a lot that Texas A&M can currently do to know, you can hold the third. But if you lose that gunfight, it's going to be a 1v4, and then you're not looking at taking the round. You could play aggressive, you could get a pick off the vert, you could spin the wheel. It's a 50-50 situation here. But the coordination coming up from Loyola is really, really good, as Memes managed to pick up 1. Oh, he sees the head of the sledge all the way over there, but that's it. Mary popping off from above is going to take a Mr. Lyro, and they're going to secure them a 3-2, maybe pushing it to a 4-2. Or is it, no, 3-3? Wait. I've totally lost. 4-2? They can push to a 4-2. They could push.
Yeah, but I feel like Texas A&M, they can bring it back to a 3-3. The end of the round there, that was Loyola, what we saw at the very start. That was coordination, that was information. Having that first player pushing in with the fuse, got to find not 1 but 2 kills. Yeah, the last one was a trade, but then it opened things up. I mean, the attackers then, they didn't have to play as aggressively. The defenders, realizing that top floor vertical had been taken away, they wanted to go for the retake. That's where that second pick came from. Suddenly, well, there's a ram and a buck on the board, Carpi. Things are never going to go your way if that's the case and you're on the bottom floor side. But the main thing for me, from Texas, was I didn't see many reinforcements over towards that bathroom side. And while you have to commit utility reinforcements upstairs and utility, that bathroom side is one you really can't ignore, especially if that vertical play is going to be the focus of your defenders. because, like we saw, Loyola, they were just able to drop back, open up the angles, get the information, and suddenly the two angles were there. They had the player invert, and they had the players over in bathroom taking those gunfights with those much better long-range guns.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm a little confused. We saw, we're seeing a lot of C4s coming out now. We're seeing 2 C4s, a decent amount. But when they were playing below, there wasn't C4s, and I feel like C4s are a big counter to vertical play.
Yeah,
like if you've got a camera or any intelligence up there giving you a ping to where you should chuck a C4, it's almost a guaranteed kill. And it's a risk-free kill if the vertical hasn't even started or if it's very minimal. It's a free kill. And there wasn't any C4s last round to counter that vertical, but now they're back on top. The C4s are coming out again. But then they won't use the C4s in a plant denial situation. We saw the Valk at the very start of the game, roam until the very last second, and then pop up, and C4 was still in pocket. So I'm a little confused at how Texas A&M will use their C4s, but nonetheless, I'm in for the round. But whoa, there's no way they pull this off, right? There's no way.
Yes, because they can. Those smoke canisters, those gridlock charges, and those Yin Candelas going to make that site untouchable. Combined out with memes on the rappel on sandwich window, going to be able to cover the cross. Mr. Lyro has suddenly got another angle to worry about. Now that guy's holding on that position. Well, Jalen does go down with the wisest eyes. With the glasses, going to be able to find a second. The question is, can they beat out the glass? Aware that player is there. But now the player deficit has definitely gone in the favor of Texas A&M. Mary Popinoff able to find 2. Will be able to even things out. So the last 2 players go for the site. Now it's all just Mary Popinoff on that rappel. The defenders realizing this, they're going to have to push. That site, it's being defused. Mary Popinoff unable to make it in time as Texas A&M close things down. Very well done from Wisest Eyes. Very much the anchor in that round for the Texas A&M side.
I mean, Wisest Eyes just said to himself, he's got to go for it, right? I've got to defuse. If I don't defuse, that's the round lost. And then we're looking at a 4-2 split. I don't know how Loyola got away with that, though. I'm baffled. I'll be honest with you, Muhcreedy. I'm lost for words to how you get away with that in a competitive scenario. We saw a lot of players.
You hear the music.
You hear the music? Loyola did hear the music, but then it didn't play out for them. They lost a fair amount of players almost instantaneously, but so did Texas A&M. But at the end of the day, Texas A&M were just able to, hold on to their numbers a little longer, and that gave them the opportunity to defuse and have someone watching the person who's defusing.
I think just losing that player over on AC, I mean that the cross suddenly opened up a lot more. The thing is, Loyola, they had all the pieces in the right place. It just came down to the very end. They had all the ingredients, but they didn't do the cooking by the book. They weren't able to make that cake. It's unfortunate, but it comes down to mechanical gunfights. And as much as you can work on positioning, as much as you can work on aim trainers, there are going to be times where you just aren't able to win that gunfight. Unfortunately, this is one of them. So Loyola, they're going to head in on the 3-3 split, what definitely feels like they've been robbed of that 4-2 split. They're going to go into the defense confident and comfortable because, let's be honest, you've gone to a defensive side in a comp game 9 times out of 10. You're pretty happy with that. You're going to be moving in 3-3 split. All right, well, we could be doing worse.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Loyola last week they were pretty good. They did like their Azami, and you'll see, in the next map, and maybe even in map 3, if we go to an overtime map, you'll see that they like to pick their Azami. Because of the sheer, angles that Azami can create and destroy, on impact. Loyola gonna go for the breach here.
Disabling electronics.
Checking out an EMP. No one's dying. Sorry, not Loyola. Texas A&M. I've totally mixed up the teams there for a second. You don't see any mirrors coming up from Loyola. Do you wonder why, Muhcreedy?
I feel like with the Azami, they are playing it purely for the fact they can build back up themselves. They don't need to make it, and they can be so much more aggressive. Look, trying to take out the player Pinch Concha. But that's not going to happen. It's going to be I give free hugs opening things up in this first round. Will be traded out by Wisest Eyes. Wisest Eyes, just that anchor for the side of Texas A&M at the moment. As Joe Hashish looking towards this site, realizing mini offices open, a lot more angles need to be covered. 2 breaches have been opened up on that wall, meaning there's more angles that can be covered. And as Mary Poppinoff takes off Pinch Conch, Wise the Size playing down below is waiting. The question is, Texas A&M, 2 players off the board, 1 player deficit. How much longer can they wait? As some of these already brigades start to get burned. We're at the halfway mark and around here. And right now, there's util and drones on the board. Not many. And Texas A&M positioning themselves, Carpi, waiting.
I mean, they are. They're waiting. They're waiting for the call. They're waiting for the moment that a kill is going to get them in. Joe Hashish is going to be able to pick off Mary Poppinoff. Is that going to be the bell? Is this going to be the final bell that causes Texas A&M to say, we've got to go, this is it. If we don't go now, round's lost. Memes is holding the angle there. He catches the edge of Joe Hashish's head, waltzing down by there. But Wisest Eyes is going to pick off Loyola Esports, and he's going to get a double kill. And he knows where the arena is. No, you cannot let a man do that. Wisest Eyes is on a triple, and Memes unaware that Joe Hashish has gotten to the site as Texas A&M take their first attacking round.
Very well played from them, able to pick up that defensive setup. Definitely going in with that deficit there. The time against them, the setups there against them. I mean, look at those rotates. There's a lot of phantom pressure there. For in the example of Wisest Eyes playing on those metal stairs, they were aware, okay, well, there's a lot of lines of sight over towards that archive side. We were aware of that because these players have died to it. There could be somebody playing in that mini office. There could be somebody holding an angle from archives. And they're pretty sure there's a player over on 90. For them seeing that rotate into Fountain as well as that, even if they didn't see just Jalen running through there, then they would have been constantly in the back of their mind. Somebody might be peeking that. The pressure that was put on, and I think seeing the arena running through it definitely muted a lot of that, because then they realized, okay, well, somebody's not going to peek it. They just ran through. It really opened things up, being able to push up those stairs, but it really stalled down. I think Loyola had it for a minute, but just weren't able to close things down.
Discovered the location of a bomb.
Yeah, no, they weren't. They got muddled up, sorry, towards the end. Is what I think. We had players that were stacked on top of each other, and that just leads to easier kills for Texas A&M. If you've got someone standing right in front of you and they're in a crouch position, if they pop at any given time, you're going to end up, team killing them, unless you've got that 0.5 capability. Memes, I'll be honest with you, it's an interesting Mozzie placement. I'm glad you've changed it, but it was an interesting one. I wonder if you would.
I see the logic. I see the logic behind it.
You could argue that a drone would go up there. He's doubling up, or he's singling up. He's doubling up. You know what? We're just gonna watch Memes. We're gonna see how Memes places his Mozzie placements here.
Carpi's gonna be judging.
No.
I think this break hold is gonna be huge. Being able to hold this position, yes, they're being droned out, but Loyola Esports is going to be relatively comfortable. Memes is in a situation where they are the big focus of this attacking front. And while just Jalen can drop down, Mr. Lilo will do some damage to Memes, but Mr. Lilo's covering the flank as well. Takes down Jalen. And Memes able to find an answer. Big well dubs off the board. The Yana. Flashbangs, the ARX, that's taken away. That breach opening up a minute into the round as Memes gets taken down by those frag grenades finally. Wisest Eyes. And now they're looking to finish them off. Mr. Lyra will be able to do that. The player advantage is 2 in favor of Texas A&M as Loyola Esports falls as well. And it looks like Loyola, they're looking to just hold this ground, hold this breach. Those beeper stairs, that's going to turn Free Hugs' attention away. And Mary Poppinoff, that's got a lot of gunfights to win by their own. Takes the first one, though. And that could be it. Takes a second to reload. The halfway mark has just hit. And Texas A&M, they've still got the players to work with. They're going to rotate around. They're going to look, see if there's anything else that they can do. Prod, poke. They know there's only 2 players left, Carpi. But as Pinch Conch pushes in, they're going to even things out, taking them down. But Wisest Eyes gets a refrag, and Mary goes down as well. And now it's all down to I give Free Hugs in the 1 versus 2. They don't have to play aggressive. With that gate going off, they know where the attack is going to come from. And with the damage coming out, Free Hugs might be able to land it. They have to push from this same doorway, Carpi, and this could be deadly for the attacking side.
It looks like Wisest Eyes is going to hold as Mr. Lyro looks for the rotate, but then they're both going to rotate. So is I Give Free Hugs going to read the rotation? Yes, he is. He's able to down and kill Mr. Lyro, leaving it in a 1v1 scenario. I Give Free Hugs versus Wisest Eyes here. Two anchors from both teams going head to head. He's going to be able to pick up a little bit of damage there as he swings, but Wisest Eyes' mechanical skill, it shows right there. I mean, look at the flick.
A very beautiful flick to close out that round there when it was desperately needed. I think you said, yeah, they were both rotating around Texas A&M, but Carpi, in the 1 versus 2, they have to play together. They have to play for the refrags. It almost went the wrong way completely for the side of Texas A&M on the attack, but, well, like you say, Wisest Eyes with mechanical ability was able to get things down, but fair play to Loyola, though. That was a very good defensive round. They wasted a lot of time. They were able to get a couple of opening picks, but the trades came through very well from Texas A&M. The cutoffs for the roamers was there. The information on how to deal with these players, the coordination was there. Texas A&M have definitely warmed up into this round.
Was it Mary Popenoff standing right next to the breach that managed to sort of halt the push as the bandit there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's tactical aggression right there. You know, he stood right by the breach, you know, waiting. The ace knew, but yet Mary Popenoff had the advantage. He was holding the angle. He had the tighter peak, and he managed to pull it off. And he got bombed with that, which made Texas A&M panic a bit. You know, being like, okay, hold up, it's a 2v2 now. We need to figure out what we're doing here because they have eyes on our bomb. You know, what we're gonna do. But luckily, they managed to pick off one and turn it back to a 2v1. But you know, I Give Free Hugs. He was aware. He was well aware of what the situation was. You know, he read into that rotate really well. He was able to get that one, and then just unluckily, he didn't manage to like do the rest of the damage towards Wisest Eyes at the end of the round.
Yeah. The thing is, it doesn't seem like either team's really playing it poorly. I mean, that tactical aggression was sound. The refrags, the double P coming out from Texas A&M, that was good as well. It's not teams playing bad, it's just some teams starting to step up a bit more. And Wisest Eyes opening things up into Workshop, gets aggressive. Takes I Give Free Hugs with the shotgun, but that is going to be the push coming through with that C4. Jalen able to find a kill to pinch Concha, though, as Memes and just Jalen start to set up this crossfire. That DMR, it just doesn't land the shots needed.
Just imagine if they misthrown him.
Up. Memes has to be so careful. Like you say, a misthrow could be game ending at this point here for Loyola, but that's going to be Miguel Dubs taking him down anyway. The refrag does come through. They are down. And while Jalen could finish off the kill and get greedy, has to think tactically. Backs up. Says, well, I could be around for later in that round. Just Jalen finding Joe Hashish. That's going to be evening things out with 3 versus 3, but one attacker still on that top floor. One defender, sorry, still on the top floor. Might have a lot more to say about this.
Ooh, the Candela's coming out. Miguel's just going to pick off a drone that I believe that was captured by Mozzie there, but I believe there's one more. There's one more pest drone in there. You can see just Jalen staring at it. Oh! Missed Lyra managing to get just Jalen's head before he did a hefty amount of damage, but Mary popping off from above. He's able to get one. Is he going to get the second? Have to wait and see. But no, Miguel Dubs is almost immediately going to flick upwards and get Mary popping off's head. Loyola Esports. He's hiding in the door frame here. Is this a misdrone situation? No, they know where he is. He's
looking to pick up that first pick. Candela's start to come through. The utilities there to be burned. The ping comes through. And Mr. Laro puts Texas A&M onto match point of map 1, not the map they even picked, Carpi. Which makes you think when we look towards Clubhouse, this might be a much stronger side we were expecting. But Loyola, the defense, we cannot discredit the quality that we're seeing.
No, we can't. I mean, they were there. The defense was good. They read into it, even though numbers dropped rapidly. They still knew what to do with themselves. We saw Mary popping off above at the very last second to drop that impact, and it was a game changer. But unluckily, I believe it was his eyes or Miguel? I think it was Miguel or was his eyes that managed to pick up on his head, and that's what I feel like caused Loyola to lose that round because that flank could have been
Attackers need
it
to
could have been
locate
game
and defuse
ending
as many
towards
bombs as they
Texas
can.
A&M. But now they're setting up match point. Loyola might be feeling a little less confidence. They have to win 3 rounds consecutively. It's hard enough winning 1 round back and forth, let
Attackers
alone
have
doing
discovered the
that,
location
winning
of a
around
bomb.
3 times, and it has to be consecutive. It's a whole different world.
And that's just to make it to overtime. Just to
Yeah.
really put into perspective the stakes here for Loyola. They have to play a perfect game of Siege for 3
10
rounds
seconds
just to get to
remaining.
overtime. And then they have to go onto the map that isn't their map.
5
Yes, it
seconds
is more of a
remaining.
default map, but Carpi, have you ever felt good losing your map pick going into that next map?
Attackers drop
No,
the
you
diffuser.
don't. The confidence levels
Attackers have
drop a
recovered the
little bit,
diffuser.
and the mentality
The
from
attackers'
both
bomb
teams
diffuser has
also,
been dropped.
sorry, from, the losing team, it does drop a little bit, and you do question, things that you've practiced, things that you know from day one. Just Jalen is going to play
Yeah.
really aggressively here. I wonder if it's going to pay off for him. This could go
Yeah.
either way. If he plays it correctly,
Okay.
it's a freebie, but he's going to back away at the very last moment. He's going to leave the door open, so swing could come out. EMP is starting to roll off. In goes the breach charge. Oh, they're unaware.
Oh, yeah.
There's,
The aggressive positioning, though.
there's no
Carpi.
way.
They could know, but no, they don't. Just Jalen pops out, able to find one. But Wisest Eyes is able to get the refrag. As I give 3 hugs, is able to find an answer of their own. Texas A&M, 2 players down. And right now, Loyola looking quite strong, but the players are going down below. Carpi, you said that if they that Texas A&M, they were probably aware of just Jalen over the woods, that break room, but no, they weren't. The positioning, like you say, even if they got droned, that would have made Texas aware, and they would have had to deal with it. That would have slowed them down a lot more. But right now, Miguel's got to get slowed down amazingly. As I get 3 hugs, takes him down on the east stairs. Pinch conscious, looking for a refrag, but gets caught in the back by Memes.
Loyola, they're back. They're in the rounds. But Wisest Eyes is going to be able to pick off the head of Memes there, leaving him in a 2v1 scenario. He's got the same HP, roughly, as I get 3 hugs. So whoever he meets first could define whether this goes into a 1v1. The pings are coming out. They know where he is.
Oh no.
He's managed to get it down to a 1v1, but he's managed to get it down to a 1v1 with the person who's the exact same HP as him. He knows where these goo mines are. He knows where the Legion is playing in small office. Oh, the Legion might be unaware of the drone here. I give 3 hugs, might not know. Okay, he's gonna hear the bullets, but I give 3 hugs. He's dropped. He's dropped. He's gonna come up main stairs here. Does Wisest Eyes know? I don't think he does. Oh,
So
no, they do.
careful, that
The
drone's
pings are
gonna
coming
watch,
out.
yeah. The pings for both team at this point. As Wisest looks for the swing, the pistol comes out, but the footholds are going to work for I get 3 hugs, denying that first map going in favor of Texas A&M and keeping Loyola Esports in the game for the time being. A round that should have been much, much stronger for the defense isn't going to go their way. Yeah, just down at the wire. But in that 1 versus 4 situation, Carpi, Wisest Eyes doing very well. And if you're on the side of Texas A&M, that's the player I want to have. Definitely hitting their shots, definitely confident going into these gunfights. But it just wasn't meant to happen at that point. The pings, the information was there for both teams.
I mean, I give 3 hugs. He, second time's the charm. What can I say? Second time is the charm. He managed to clutch up for his team there. That was such a close round from Wisest Eyes, though. He managed to luckily get that pick onto the Jaeger as he was full HP. And I reckon if he picked if Wisest Eyes picked off I give 3 hugs there with a low HP, it would have been a lot more harder for him to win that round. 1 bullet, 2 goo mines for him, 1 bullet, and he would have been off. That would have been it. Loyola, they've managed to bring it back to 4-6, but like we said, they now have to do 2 more rounds consecutively. And the question is, are they going to be able to pull that off?
A big ask, Carpi. A
It is.
huge monumental ask, especially when you think about the dynamic and the mental of these players. These are not pro league players, and that is not a bad thing. These are collegiate players. These are university college players. They're doing this mostly for fun. That's most what a lot of players start.
Yeah.
And they're doing it to enjoy. They're doing it to improve. And this is a big ask for these players. And it takes a lot of respect. I played a lot of Unity Siege in my time. I know the amount of commitment that it takes to actually reach a level of this caliber, because you have teams that will do everything they need to. Teams that can compete at that very, very top level. And you need to be able to beat them. So you have to make sure that is possible. A lot of work, a lot of effort goes in behind it. These teams really do put in the effort to earn the position they're in right now, and I've got nothing but respect. As someone who's been there, Carpi, granted, on the wrong side of the pond, I've got nothing but respect for these players, and as long as they enjoy it, I'm very happy. And right now, I think both teams are going to enjoy at least a good game of Siege being played as that Monty pushes forward. But Loyola, they're aware of the approach that Texas A&M want to take. That setup crafted perfectly. Joe Hashish is going to be able to do a little bit of damage with Mr. Lyro, who falls first.
Memes, he's going to manage to get that headshot, but in the reckoning, he's going to get down. Pincha Concha, he's going to swing in and manage to get one onto Loyola as Joe Hashish takes Mary Poppinoff and Miguel Dubs gets just Jalen. It's a 2 versus 4 scenario with a minute 50 on the board. It's not looking good from Loyola. They've managed to get Memes up. He's going to look for the rotate, but the castle's not going to play this way. And why is this nice? He's going to get one onto I get 3 hugs. It's all down to Memes. 20 HP in a dream. But that's not going to happen today.
Yeah, that's going to be Memes jumping out to square, looking to get a different angle. But with that caster barricade unfortunately working against them, they have to jump straight back in, right into the line of sight. And Miguel Dubs, huge opening with that Monty. Carpi, you love a good Monty play.
But now we move on to Clubhouse. So what do you reckon our bans will be, Muhcreedy?
I reckon we're going to look towards very hard breach and breach denial based operators. I mean, Thatcher maybe a Maverick, or maybe even another Osa ban. That might be on the cards. The Osa is looking towards that attacking side for the attackers. I feel like they're not going to want to overdo it. They might want to keep that Thatcher up. But we didn't see a huge amount of impact that it had, so they might keep it up just to have it in the back pocket, just to speed everything up. That Jackal is going to be removed again. The same operators we saw last game so far. Now, I want to remind people, obviously, this is a best of 3. So if Texas A&M are able to take this win, then that closes it out. It's done. They move forward with those points, and Loyola Grey go without us getting a map on the board. Mirror being taken off the board is an operator that we saw to a very, very high level of impact. We didn't see them very regular, but we did see them have massive importance in the round. The way that it funnels these players. And this is another operator that had that massive importance. A Valkyrie. The information that it gave, Carpi, like you saw, like you described, could really cause some shenanigans. Dare I say some tomfoolery in rounds.
Shenanigans, tomfoolery, shaboyery. These are some of my favorite words. I like this. Map 2 is going to be a banger. I already sense it. When you're bringing shaboyery and tomfoolery into the mixture, nothing can go wrong, really. But this time, we managed to see Solace come through the ban phase, yet the Valkyrie has been struck off. Maybe that's because of Texas A&M's sheer use of it when they were defending. Loyola, this time, they're going to continue on from defense from border onto Clubhouse. And we're going to have to see how they play it. Because they struggled a bit.
Attackers need to
They
locate
did
and
indeed
defuse
struggle
bombs.
a bit. They had nice angles with the Azami Kibas, but they struggled. But this time last week, Loyola managed to take quite a far stride, and I believe they finished the map off being 7-2. So are they going to be able to do it again, or is Texas A&M going to shut this down swift and safely?
I mean, looking at this map, it is Texas A&M's map pick. So they are going to be going in confident. They are going to say, well, that last round, we won it. I mean,
10 seconds left.
why should we be feeling bad? Let's ride that energy. Let's keep it rolling. We're cooking with fire.
5 seconds
So
left.
let's just keep going. Let's just make a 7-hour race or something like that. The mental's definitely going to be there. They're going to be looking to ride that. Now, the important part is they don't get cocky. Loyola Grey the scoreline doesn't reflect how close some of those rounds were. I mean, it was a 7-3 scoreline, but it came down to the XVX situations. It wasn't cut and dry as the scoreline suggests. So I think not being so cocky coming into this might really pay a benefit, because Texas A&M, they're a really good team. Loyola, sorry, they're a really good team as well. They can really bring it back. And if Texas A&M give them opportunities on a map like Club, it's a default map. If you're playing comp, this is one of the first couple of maps you need to nail down as a team. Clubhouse is a game that both of these teams should be comfortable in. Now, Mary popping off with those impact nades will be starting to stop that breach from opening up, but Pinch Guncha does have another EMP. Both impact nades went out. That breach will get opened up, but that one mine is going to be a horrible thing to deal with.
Yeah, so you're going to see Mr. Lyro open the bottom half of the garage, and only now, 2 minutes left, so they've got enough time to play around with the push here. As you see, Mr. Lyro's opened bottom garage, but not only that, he's managed to rotate. Pings are going to come out, the firebolt isn't in. They know exactly where he is. 1, 2, they're down. Here comes the firebolt. They're going to seal the Wamai off. It's not a great scenario for the drip. He's going to take the burns, but just Jalen is going to be able to save his teammate there as Joe Hashish gets downed, but not out on the breach. It's going to be a risky pickup here, and I don't think he can even fall down. Yeah, if he falls down, it would kill him. So Pinchy, if he wants to go, oh, never mind. He just wanted to take his time. He wanted to take his time. That's all.
Yeah. Now, a very important thing I want to take a look over the wards is that roster of Loyola Grey. Now, Loyola Esports 1 has unfortunately fallen in the field of combat. And the Drift Dairy is going to be taking place. Now, Texas A&M, they're going to head over towards construction, but Memes and I'll give free hugs are going to shut down the aggression over towards that side, and just Jalen gets one kill. As Lyro has answered. Opening up that construction wall is going to be a very difficult situation to be in. A lot of angles to cover, not enough guns that we saw in that last map on the side of Loyola Grey in some of those rounds. Right now, though, a very strong start for the defense as they have that 4 versus 1 start on the board. 30 seconds ticking down. The Solace down below, making it almost a sure thing about this round, as well as the impacts down below with the vertical. It's going to be almost impossible for Lyro to win this one, especially with the diffuser where it is. So they might just say, well, run around, give it a go, but most importantly, let's take a breather, look at what we're doing. Where did we go wrong, guys? How can we fix this?
Yeah, something to note on the side of Loyola Grey. It didn't affect them as much, but, I think it's Fabian who said this with drones and Solace. When you're picking Solace, you shouldn't be reinforcing. You should surely be hunting those drones.
Yeah.
You saw the Solace visor come out. You managed to pick off 2 of those drones, but 45 seconds, you could easily get 3 or 4, without stressing. So I feel like when you're on Solace, you do have to say, okay, you've got to stick to getting drones here. We'll do the reinforcements. We'll do the site setup. If you can get the drones out of the way, everything will be okay. Because it's definitely just something to pick up on, right? Just drone economy. I mean, I like my drone economy, Muhcreedy.
Yeah, we've talked about it before.
We have.
Gym bedroom is the site we're heading to, Carpi. No Solace on the board,
Defenders,
but
protect your bombs from being defused by
as
attackers.
well as the hard breach gadgets as well, is going to be brought on the board. Now, Loyola Grey, this does seem to be a very typical defensive setup for this site. The castle there will be focusing on getting these rotations down, as will Memes. Getting these castle barricades, you see there's one on garage door, they're going to want to get one on construction door, one on the cash door as well, so that this extended hold can play there to slow down everything for the attackers. It's going to want to have rotates over towards that Logi side so that the defenders have that freedom of movement. If they need to back off that main stairs,
Bomb located by attackers.
Back off out of Logi, they
10 seconds
can
to go.
do that.
5
The
seconds
castle
to go.
barricades mainly are going to be looking to stop nades and to waste utilities so that the
Attackers'
attackers have a
objective
time
is to
getting
defuse a
those
bomb.
gate barricades. But the big thing for me as a defender, I look towards the site. It's like a layered cake. A wedding cake that's got a number of layers. That's what you typically see on this site, especially when you see a CCTV cake. Teams will want to take a layer by layer by layer.
Yeah, sometimes you could argue that you take it layer by layer by layer, but sometimes you just want to eat that wedding cake instantaneously, and I guess that's where rushes come into play. don't think we're going to see a rush from Texas A&M. Even though Loyola, they're quite spread apart, so a gym rush could be the play. You've only got one person close to site. You have got people holding long angles, but is long angles
Attackers
going to
have
be
dropped the bomb
enough
diffuser.
for you to hold onto the site? As we
Attackers
see
recovered the bomb
Texas
diffuser.
A&M start to push the eastern side of the map. I believe it's only one of their players over there, though, as Mary Poppanoff is just out walking his ways up the stairs. Joe Hashish has managed to open not one, but 2 walls, so Texas A&M, they're going to have main stairs and bathroom cut off. So if they start to open up these windows, it's not going to look great for Loyola Gray.
Yeah, now looking in towards that cache, that layered approach is what they're going to take, but look at the utility that's going out already. 2 hard breach gadgets going out as we start. Miguel actually has none at the moment. It's a very difficult situation. Yes, Joe Hashish is there, and 2 hard breach setup is still there that we saw from the boys, but right now, time being wasted as the C4 does go out. Loyola Crew starting to use C4s a little bit more. We'll see one player starting to get droned out now. Miguel and Joe Hashish will each pick up a frag of their own. Wisest Eyes looks to move in and make their mark on the round. The drip there is going to be taken down by Miguel. And it's all down to Marion Poppanoff, realizing that site's not going to be a tenable defensive setup. They've got over to Red. The problem with Red is those gridlock charges. Able to find 1 kill. They're going to move up slowly, try and pick them off. And as they do, suddenly the attackers turn around Carpi. That's going to be Wisest Eyes closing things down on another round. Drawing things even at 1-1. The Loyola Esports not out of it yet.
No, they're not. I mean, they took that first round really dominantly, but almost immediately back with the punch is Texas A&M. You know, 4 versus 1. Are we just gonna see them swing back and forth? Are we gonna see, Texas A&M start to take a lead, or Loyola start to take a lead? I've seen Loyola play on this map. I know that they know how to play this. I haven't seen Texas A&M, but what we saw last map is they're good. As a team that communicates, they are good.
Attackers
They
need
are
to locate
more
and
than
defuse as
aware
many bombs as they
of
can.
what communication is and what is required, like, as a standard of a team. We saw them push in with a Monty, I think it was the very, very last round of Border. And for that play that they were doing, using the left-hand side shield of the Monty, you have to have communication. Like, your communication has to be on point, or that Monty is losing his head.
Oh, fully. It's one of those where the angles, the cross peaks need to be there. Otherwise, like you say,
10 seconds
they
to
struggle
go.
to get in that situation where they can enable themselves to win. Moving towards this bottom
5
site, you can
seconds
see a
to
couple of
insertion.
changes in this attacking lineup, seeing where they're heading, seeing what they've got to do.
Attackers
That
objective
ram
is to
being brought on
locate
the
a
ball,
bomb
that
and defuse
gridlock,
it.
it makes a lot of sense. Maverick can come and get the hatches, as can Joe Hashish, but where Ram is going to have those drones, they are fire and forget. It's not like Sledge where you have to get inside the building to get that soft destruction done. It's not like Buck where you need to expose yourself. You can just fire and forget these drones through a window. They will be able to do that vertical play. And most importantly, like I said, you will be safe as an attacker.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Relatively. The soft breach is definitely what they're going to be looking for towards this site. Bringing out Joe Hashish just means they're able to get the rest of the hatches. Lyro is going to be that flank block, something badly needed on these stairs. I mean, a lot of roamers like to get very eager to the Carpi.
Yeah, they do. And even though you have those gridlock track stingers in play, we saw it last round that Jaeger was able to sort of move slightly, take maybe 20 HP damage, and then he's able to hop over. So gotta be careful where you're placing them. But the impact trick is coming up here. There's I saw this last week. I'm done. I saw this, 8 impacts on the board. Loyola knows what they're doing.
If you didn't see this last week, well, what you're seeing right now, Mary Poppanoff, I Get Free Hugs, and Ludwig Dairy all have impact names. What they're doing is,
Attackers bomb
well,
diffuser has
as
been
typical of
dropped.
Honor, it's able to bait out a couple of impact names, no problem. I Give Free Hugs, though, isn't going to be able to stop it. Loyola great. They commit very hard. Wisest Eyes is able to find a pick as that hatch comes open. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Right now, let's focus on this round at the halfway mark. That pick towards it is open things up. The hatch is open as well. Now the Vert just needs to follow, which it is. A little bit of damage does go through, and while the eyes are focused all the way towards that Maverick and Dirt, they're going to have to start. That's where the gridlock comes into play. That's where the vertical play really starts to show its head. This is where Loyola play have to split their attention.
I mean,
he starts ripping up. Some of the defenders have to start as well.
Look at the sheer destruction of the Ram drones coming out here. As Mary popping off, he's going to deal with a hefty amount on Scary Sheesh, but he's managed to get healed a little bit by the finger. I like the way they're using the wub noise to go off and then detonate the Goyo canister, hoping that someone's going to get entrapped in there with the drip. 81 bullets to the name, but no kills as of now. Miguel Dubs is going to go for the plant. He's in a secure area, he's being held, the crossfires are there, Memes is down, Mary popping off, shooting off from blue, no damage going left, right, or center, just the plant. Mary popping off is going to take damage, but the drip is going to be able to pick one up to Miguel Dubs as it leaves us enough for the 4. But Memes is in that DBN on state as Pincha Concha picks one onto the drip, leaving us 2 versus 4 technically as Memes is in the DBNO. But before I can finish, Joe Kashish and Wisest Eyes are each going to be able to get a kill as just Jalen manages to make his way to main stairs, but not enough as Wisest Eyes is going to be able to pick him off there.
No, not able to find that final kill there. Very well played from the attackers. That push going in from those main stairs that you were talking about, Carpi, look at the distraction it was. The rest of the defenders weren't aware that that plant was going in all the way in a very, very easily contested area, all the way over towards that drop-down area where anyone could swing from that church side, find the pick. No, the pressure over towards those main stairs is what really defined the round because we saw 3 defenders focus on it when the plant was going down. The Maestro with the Maestro Evil Eyes was only jumping on them after the plant went down, and suddenly that player could be taken out off the board without much impact to the attacking side. Very well played. They realized where the distraction needed to be. I like that the Solace is coming back through. Yes, it might be because it's not on a different site.
As many bombs as they can.
I feel like after a round like that, that Solace is a very important operator to bring. Now, I would like to discuss that impact tracker just a little bit more. So typically, when you have a bunny, you have those 10 heart breacher gadgets, those 10 drones. The smallest number you could deploy them is 2. So if somebody wants to impact nade, they can use the angles that we saw, and they can take out 4 of them total if the Habana is playing for the impact trick.
Yeah. But
Texas A&M were. But when Loyola Gray brings so many copies,
you know, it's gonna time waste the kitchen plays because you can't really start doing vertical until you got that hatch open. It's gonna waste a lot of time. But a factor that might have benefited Texas A&M, and it indeed it did actually benefit Texas A&M, is whilst you have 8 impacts, that requires 3 or 4 of your players to be in the rough same area. You can't stretch too far. You can't run out of the site. You can't go to Moto. You have to stay near that hatch. And that's what I feel like left Texas A&M the ability for them to just waltz through dirt and get themselves a 3B.
Yeah. Now, looking towards Carpi, they're going to get this breach open very, very quickly. And this time, not looking to lose any players to the play. Last time they were on this site, they had the player contesting back up this position, but there wasn't much support from them.
Attackers have located
over towards that bottom floor, over towards that breach, there wasn't much support for that player. Question is Legit Dairy going to be able to be as damaging?
Yes, but Wisest Eyes, he's in the bottom garage. He's going to take a little damage from himself, but the impact's going to come up from just Jalen. Is Jalen aware he's managed to sneak into Lounge? No, he is not, as Wisest Eyes is able to pick up just Jalen. Lyro is going to be swung right back on from Legit Dairy as he still roams at the top of the... Oh, that's a nasty pixel. Yeah, I've not seen that one.
The flashbangs land exactly where they need to. The Carpatel smokes are going to follow as well. This is Ghana and Capital look to move through. Now those flashbangs will not be effective anymore, but Memes being taken down by Wisest Eyes. Carpi isn't going to mean anything.
don't know.
McQuell doesn't know. He's able to win the gunfight, though, as Legit there he gets taken down. And that's going to be 2 defenders against 4. But time on their side as Mary Poppinoff is able to find another head.
But I give 3 hugs. He's below the C4 is in the wrong place. It goes out a little early, but yet it's going to be able to pick up 1 kill. Wisest Eyes is a 1v2 into a 1v1. And Pinche, he's going to come off. He's going to go off the plant last second. It's a 1v1 scenario. 50 seconds on the board. Gunfire going out left and right. Here comes the shotgun. I reckon the Mute might have it in the bag if he's able to keep the Thatcher close to his heart. He might be able to swing with the shotgun there. Pincher just a little confused whether to plant or not. He's looking for the audio cues of the Mute moving. Potentially going to go for a wall bang. But 30 seconds, he's got to do something. This is only favoring the Mute more and more. Plant is going down, but he's going to come off almost immediately and going to attempt to swing. Going to go for the reload back behind the chassis. He is a little confused, but the swing, the aggression is going to come out last minute here. Plant's going to go down 12 seconds. This is your final point. Ooh, well played from I Give Hugs. He managed to bait him off the plant there, but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The pre-fires come out, but I Give Hugs says no, not today. 2 shotgun shells will bring out. He's able to bait off Thatcher.
Yeah, painful to watch there if you're a fan of Loyola, if you're a fan of Texas A&M. Pinch was able to get on that site, and while the 2v1 situation took place, was starting to get that plant down. They came off it as soon as that ace got taken down. I understand that. I appreciate that. I think just in future, looking forward for the side of Texas A&M, that plant has to go down. If that player gets taken off the board, that plant's got to go, because with that time remaining, you're about that 20-second mark. The Mute has a shotgun. The positioning that Mute can take then was so powerful. You could see Pinch just couldn't move around. No. As soon as they came off that plant, the Mute had full control of the situation. They dictated the gunfight. As soon as the plant started to go down, well, the Mute would make some noise. Pinch would come off that plant, and suddenly that's so much time wasted. And the realization from both players at that point that the next plant has to be the last. So Pinch has to take the gunfight, has to just wait out the Mute. And as an attacker, that doesn't happen. You do not wait out the player if they are playing that defensive game on a comp setting.
Yeah. I mean, that was really, really well played by the Mute, though. You know, the baiting, the running back and forth, giving Thatcher the sound cues there to get off the plan, or continue the plan. You know, just shuffling him about for a minute. Because, you know, a minute's not a lot of time, but when you're in that 1v1 scenario with only you and one other person in the entire map and 4 teammates either side watching eagerly to see who's going to win the gunfight, that minute almost becomes a lifetime.
That it does. Returning to this site, this is where we saw Texas A&M pick up that first one.
We did. And not only that, but we saw them absolutely come in, you know, sledgehammer swinging. They were not looking to mess up here. Ooh, that's trick. He's not got it. He almost had it. Drip. He's going to go for an aggressive play here, but someone is on the rappel. Surely they'll catch him before he's able to pick or damage any of Texas A&M.
Neither of that's going to happen. They're going to retreat to the bathroom and will be able to catch that bathroom wall. The 8th charge being taken away. But that's utility off the board. That jacuzzi is still open. That line of sight for the attackers, Carpi. It shuts down that whole main area, and suddenly a lot of freedom of movement is taken away, especially when Texas A&M inevitably get a player over towards that window. And that's why it's important as Joe Hashish and Wise each pick up a pick. One of them coming from that main door, Carpi.
Bomb located by
Miguel now looking to place the breach. It's 2v5. Joe Hashish picks up another onto the drip, leaving us in this 2v5 scenario with the minute 30 on the board. Pinchy still on the rappel out there as Miguel pre-fires left and right, unable to pick up anything because Jalen sees the ace, but he doesn't quite clock it as he looks towards the cash rotate. Marion Poppinoff going to get a knife put out here. Don't mind if I do, as Pinche is able to refrag there on towards Mary Poppinoff, and finally Pinche Concha. He finishes it off with a triple, I believe, onto just Jalen.
Yeah, the bullets just constantly, it instantly came, and there was literally no way to go. It just wasn't happening. It all lined up so beautifully for the attacking side of Texas A&M.
They
For
know
the
how
side
to
of
play it.
Loyola, yeah, they know how to play the side. They realize these key areas. Well, get that jacuzzi wall open. That's a huge line of sight cut off. If they're able to take control of Logi as well, which they were, well, then that shuts off the rotate from those roamers coming back. So the players dealing with CCTV, they have a lot easier time. Those defenders either fight them or they fight in construction. And these are very tough angles to take gunfights against.
Attackers need to
Especially
locate and
towards
defuse
construction.
bombs.
At the end there, we saw the rotate come through over towards that gym window. And like I said, when you combine that with Logi control, with that wall control, it's just not going to happen, especially in that 1 versus 4. A very good effort to bring it back from the two defenders, but it wasn't meant to be. Heading back down to this bottom floor site, I feel like an Echo is a really, really good use of utility here, rather than, I believe it was the Malusi that we saw, because you got to think the big thing for Texas A&M, they were able to get that plant down without being caught.
10 seconds.
They were able to distract very, very well. Having that Echo shuts that potential and
5
is
seconds
able to
to go.
react a lot quicker, isn't it?
Yeah, like 100%.
Attackers
The
must
plant that
locate
are
and
with
defuse
Echo,
the
you know,
bomb.
let's say on average you have like a 50-50 if you're not bringing an Echo on defense. But oh, hold up. I thought they were rushing for a second, but it's just Mary popping off in memes, blending in with the two attacker outlines there. You
A
are
bomb
going to
has
see
been
Wise's
located.
eyes start to place the breach charges and drone from behind. And I feel like I do this a lot in ranked, but the way he's placed that breach charge can honestly benefit Loyola. If they have someone playing in dirt, like a Solace, if they have Solace playing in dirt, and they see they're going for the drone, you could tuck yourself in that corner, because no one's going to expect you to be that aggressive. No one's going to expect you. They're not going to look left, they're going to look right. But Joe Hashish is going to start to open the hatch, and impact tricks? No?
Attackers drop the
Here
diffuser.
comes out the
Yeah.
second one. Are they waiting? Potentially?
6 impact nades are on the board, and that hurt
Okay,
is
there's one.
being done.
Attackers recovered their diffuser.
But
Oh, Mr.
it
Lyra's
just seems to be
taking
like
some
he
damage.
wants. Yeah, Lyra's going to take some damage towards one of those shotguns, but it's not going to be enough. Well, Dubs got aggressive on those main stairs, ready to just apply that multiple angles of pressure and just really shut down the freedom of movement for the defenders as Memes takes damage, Carpi, and backs out of blue.
Yeah, Miguel also going to be taking a little bit of that damage as he runs back up main stairs. But now they have control of dirt, but they are also aware that Wisest Eyes is sitting in there, you know, ready to pinch. But Miguel, he may not be able to push main, but I'll tell you what, he's going to pick one off of Bert onto Mary, popping off. He's just eagerly waiting for someone to pop out in front of him, but no one's going to do that. No one's going to give him the opportunity, but just Jalen's going to find an opportunity onto Joe Kashish's head, leaving us in a 4 versus 4 scenario. Pincha, he goes down blue with intention, and yes, he comes swinging onto Aidu. 3 hugs heads, flashes going out. Pincha's going to die to Memes' Goyo canister there. It's just Jalen, you know, playing Mo, he's playing safe. The grid block is gonna stop him, but Miguel looking to go for the plant. And this is where Maestro's coming in hand now. Oh, they can't see him. He's behind the wall.
But if it was the Echo, it'd be such a
Attackers are
different
activating
story.
the
Just
diffuser.
Jalen gets taken down on the dripped area with the Ola in hand. Carpi, it's not looking great, but it is certainly doable. It has been seen, but Miguel Dubs is going to close things down. Positioning there, if you just think if it was an Echo, not a Maestro, if that player over towards Dirk got taken down, it could have gone so differently. But very, very well played from both teams there, but Texas A&M inching out at the side switch.
Yeah, I mean, they are just going to take a slight lead here. The real question is, Texas A&M, they are strong on attack, but only certain sites are they strong on. You know, they're a little wary of CC and Cash, but when it comes to gym and bedroom, they'll go in gun swinging, no knocking at the door. They're just going to straight barge into whatever you're doing. Same for around the bottom floor site, you know, they are just going to walk in and
Defenders,
they're not
protect
going to
your
stop
bombs
at
from being
anything
defused by attackers.
until they've got you within their grasp. But the question is their attack as strong as their defense? we've got to just, you know, only time can tell, Muhcreedy. Only time can tell.
Time, something Loyola don't really seem to be doing very well with at the moment. They kind of need to see a little something else come through, especially on this defensive side. I mean,
10 seconds to insertion.
oh, the offensive side. This is where they can set the pace. Now,
5 seconds remaining.
we saw their attacks were their strongest side when they're on border.
Objective is to locate a bomb. and
Moving
defuse it.
forward, I think this is where we'll see them start to feel like they're a bit more in control. Playing on that defense, Texas A&M definitely had that control. They had the pace setting. They knew what they wanted to do in the round, and Loyola played into them a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
This is where they can really say, we're gonna make these pushes, we're gonna make you take these gunfights, even if you don't want to.
Yeah, no, 100%. Loyola might feel a little more confident on attack, but if Texas A&M are as confident as they are on their attack, as they are on defense, then it might just be another map loss for Loyola. Texas A&M, they're 2 rounds up, but just Jalen's going to take a little bit of damage, but Ledrip is going to get the first kill. Miguel's going to swing back and just get just Jalen,
A bomb
leaving
has
us
been
exactly
located.
where we started. And even Stevens 4 versus 4.
Yeah, the drip there, he has taken some damage, but it's not going to stop Give Free Hugs from taking out Mr. Lero as well. And with that, a player advantage going in the favor of Loyola. Great, a little bit of breathing room has been made, but they need to be careful still. Pinchy Punch towards that construction side. Mary popping off, wanting to get that garage cam. Is it going to be able to do it? So we'll try and get rid of these magnets instead. Very different way of dealing with it than we saw from the Capital, which was with a flame and smoke out. This means that these players can still get naded out. And even then, when you take that Raptors control, you're going to have a much better time. Memes is going to be able to pick the head of Joe Haitian. Is this even going to be needed over the Woods garage? Well, that's the question we're going to answer to in about a minute and 20 seconds. Pushing up the drift area is looking to contest. Pinchy Concha with the long angles is going to be the one that has to take these gunfights. And McWall Dubs just holding in cover as well. I Give Free Hugs taken down. That means that flank's going to be dealt with. But the Raptors in breach play. The Crossfire gets a pick each. And the attacking side will pick up that first round for Loyola, making it a 4-3 scoreline.
Oh, I mean, Texas A&M, they almost just got cornered there towards the end of the round, and I feel like that just played into Loyola's hands, because once they had them cross into their sightlines, they knew there's no way they're backing out. They're in an indestructible corner. They can't run through it. It's reinforced. They can't go through a wall that's made by, like, the map plans. And I feel like Loyola just managed to corner and capture Texas A&M, and that's what really got them the round there. We did see an early trade from both sides, leaving us in that 4 versus 4, but Loyola,
Defenders, protect your bombs from
they
being
don't let the
defused by
numbers do the
attackers.
talking. They let the time do the talking.
Yeah, and I feel like the time is when they're really starting to excel. They're very comfortable when it comes to that last 30 seconds. They're very comfortable when it comes to putting the defenders in these situations. They're working with the timing. They're working with each other.
Well done!
And when you have a team that's able to pull that off, those last 30 seconds on the clock don't really stress them out as much as it might stress out another team. I got to give them credit. That's
10
something
seconds
that
left
I've
before
enjoyed
insertion.
watching, especially on border, especially in those first couple of rounds, seeing them
5
play
seconds left
around with
before
how the
insertion.
map is and how the round has played out so far. The
Attackers are
adaptability
moving out to
certainly
locate
there.
a bomb and
I just
defuse
want to
it.
see it improve and improve onwards and onwards.
Yeah, 100%. Why is this dies? This is the first time we've seen Assaults come out on basement. We've seen it come out on other sides, but we've not seen it come out on basement. He's not going to play dirt. Pincher is going to play dirt with a passion. Has the opportunity to play aggressive here and sit there for the round. But he's just going to eagerly hold the tight angle in between the dirt wall and the wooden beams that hold up the structure known as dirt. I Give Free Hugs
Attackers
and
bomb
breaking
diffuser
down
has
the
been
door,
dropped.
looking for the vertical gameplay, but Wisest Eyes and Miguel Dubs, they're up the stairs. you know, Loyola have completely ignored them, and with that Solace charm, they are going to see all of the electronic gadgets being used.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Yeah, no Jackal on the board here, really doing Loyola a disservice. As like you say, those two Roamers are on the top floor. They can cause that pressure, and most importantly, they
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
That vertical play is in full effect. The attackers are looking for this push. This is a hypothetical now. This isn't the situation we're in. It's one we could very possibly be in.
Yeah.
And Texas A&M, they look at these players on the top floor, Carpi.
Oh, they are, but Wisest dies as Loyola tries to start the room clear. Wisest Eyes is going to take him off the board, and that's a phone call. Not going to get used, and intelligence is not going to get gathered from Loyola here. Wisest Eyes is still above as well, so not only has he managed to get a kill, not only has he managed to waste time, but he's still alive. But speak less for Joe Hashish, as Iger Hugson's going to get Joe Hashish, and Pinchaconche is going to get one Tiger Hugston. Wisest Eyes, what a shot onto Mary Bobnoff, leaving Loyola in a 2 versus 4 scenario. It's not great. A minute left on the board, and they're still unaware what Wisest Eyes is. I think he might be aware. Yes, no. What a shot. I mean, Memes gonna get one finally onto Wisest Eyes. He walked through Loyola.
Attackers dropped.
Yeah.
He walked through them.
Yeah.
Was that a 3K?
Yes, it was. Memes was able to get the refrag, but unfortunately it wasn't. He was too little too late. At that point, Wisest Eyes had pushed through, was able to find not one pick, but that opening pick. The rest of the team were able to close it out. And then they were able to just walk down those main stairs uncontested. In support, they also had the player on the Mozzie. They also had somebody ready to deal with any problems that might come up, any kills that might come through onto that entry player. The positioning was very good for the defenders, but I think it was the timing that it all came down to. They realized that crunch timing for the attack was when they would do the most damage, when some of the players were on that top floor, some of those players had started pushing onto the site.
Defenders,
as soon as that top floor goes down, then those players, the defenders on the bottom floor, can get a lot more aggressive. This is Texas A&M playing aggressive, but in a competitive sense. They're not swinging everything. They're not taking every gunfight. They're positioning in ways that really, really set Loyola on the back foot. And one of them certainly being taking out that vertical control. They're not just swinging out when they start losing a round. No, they're thinking about how they want to play it. And that's key, especially for a good team in competitive Siege.
I mean, I'm just going to quote back to myself real quick. I said it on Border, you can't let people
5 seconds remaining.
get 2 kills. You know, you shouldn't be letting people get 2 kills. You should be letting people
Attackers
get 3 kills.
Out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
And then he managed to get 3, but not only did he get 3, he then stayed alive for at least another 10-15 seconds and wasted even more time for the final player of Loyola to manage to get his head there. But how do you let someone get 3 of your players, waste time? He's not even back on site. He's still roaming above with you, and you've not managed to damage him once. You need to have a talk with your team. You need to have a talk with yourself. You need to figure out what's going on and how you can stop it and fix it.
Yeah, I think a key part moving forward for Loyola is just feedback to improve on when these roamers present themselves, making sure that there's something in place to deal with them, whether it be a flank cam, whether it be a claymore or something, just to make sure that when they do reveal themselves again, they're not able to just walk down like we saw in that last round. Now, living at the present, we are going to look towards that Logi. Already has a player dropped in. Miguel Dubs unaware. Goes to the peak anyway. Is able to find a kill and take high, get 3 hugs. Goes out. Is caught out by that Jacuzzi breach. As you know, off the board. The zombie barricade will go out. Down in Loyola, they don't really seem to have much more than what they started with other than an breach. Drone blockers and mute jammers doing a massive detriment to the attackers. Which, to be honest, is the game. The drip dairy jumping in will be taken down, and diffuser goes down in cash. Suddenly you see the players rotate as the call goes out. And now McWell dubs support them, sacrificing attack defenders. Memes takes a lot of damage, aware that they can come through construction. A lot of angles need to be covered, but the defenders are in a good spot to set off for match and series point.
Attackers
Just
recovered the
Jalen,
diffuser.
Memes, and Mary Poppinoff stand in their way.
Ooh, Jalen just gonna pull out a frag there for a second, but he's gonna position himself a little better, just so he might be able to get rid of the wisest eyes here. But I think there's an ADS covering his door, so even if he does decide to go for that elliptical frag play, it's not going to play out very well. Speaking of stuff that doesn't play out very well, Mary Poppinoff will be losing their life to Joe Hashish. Texas A&M really knowing how to hold a defense. Ooh. That was the wrong time to peek there, Jalen. Wrong time to peek. But only now are we opening cash, and now we are collapsing onto Wisest Eyes. It's a 2v4 scenario. They still are unaware, or maybe they are, as shots come out towards Jalen's head. They gotta play it. Wisest Eyes is swinging once, he's swinging twice. He's bringing it home for Texas A&M, leaving us on match point.
Yes, and not just match point, series point as well. They took Border in a very, very strong fashion. They're looking to do the same on Clubhouse. But, okay, Loyola, that last round, I mean, where do we start? That first pick came through, and it felt like that was where things started to kind of break apart. I mean, Cash, they're 20 seconds left, and they're still trying to clear it out on the gym bedroom site. At that point, you'd be looking to rotate over towards that Jacuzzi Breach or to Logi and just have some way to cover that flank. I think maybe looking at that prioritization in that late round might be something to do for your team, just to think, okay, well, moving forward, how are we going to prioritize moving again? Because that cash, the last 20 seconds, that cash can mean nothing. You can just get out there, jump in gym, and get a plant if you want. Going out to bar stock now, Texas A&M for their defense. On the flip side, played a very, very confident game so far, but I feel like Loyola, that definitely was against the norm that round. I don't think it was played incredibly well, but it's not their general standard, so I feel like Loyola, they're going to be kicking themselves after that.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that something wasn't quite clicking from the side of Loyola, not in the terms of how they play. You could just tell that the whole way that their team was moving, that something was maybe just a little bit off.
Yeah.
But speaking of things that are gonna go off and gonna go for a walk or a run, it's gonna be Wisest Eyes above once again. And he's joined by his best friend Joe Hashish. Two of these guys who have definitely cemented themselves as anchors. Wisest Eye has definitely cemented himself as a firm anchor, like you said, on Border. He's not only has he done it on Border, but he's managed to do it on Clubhouse as well, coming in with 15, 5, and 2.
Let's see what I can find.
Yeah, now the vertical play yet again is going to be a huge one. Fenrir's on the board, which is something we haven't seen before. The information of those Fenrir gadgets going off can give away a lot of things to these roamers right now. The Drip Dairy calling his players. He's going to be able to heal Wisest Eyes, but isn't going to see them. Wisest, a very difficult position, aware that, well, they have a rough idea of where that player is. That's going to be a tough way to break now. Calling in for support from the team, that is going to be coming up towards Jin. As Joe Hashish will be taken down by just Jalen. The crossfires and cutoffs. There we go, Loyola. That's what I want to see from an attacking side. Utility will start to come down, and as they jump through, I get free hugs. And Wisest Eyes, the Drip Dairy is going to try and take them out, but Wisest Eyes finds one. The drone comes through, not one, but two. The impact of destruction has to come through. Looks to find a kill onto the Ash, but just Jalen's going to be there with the finger. Takes them down, can get their HP back up with those Sims. And the defenders now very much on the backseat. Loyola, a strong start for the round.
Yeah, Loyola really, now, we saw it last round, something was off, but this time, they're feeling it, they're pushing, they want those 3 consecutive rounds to push them all the way to match point. Overtime, Pincha, he's going to be pushed away though, as the hatch gets opened, but a potential rotation coming out. No, okay, I like where this is going. He's going to watch them through the feet holes, but I give 3 hugs. He's going to get 1 onto Mr. Lyro, leaving Texas A&M in a 2 versus 4 scenario with 41 seconds on the board. So not a lot of time for Loyola to push and play with. If Texas A&M pull their cards out right, or play them right, sorry, they might be able to secure the series for themselves.
See Pinch and Puncher and Miguel close this out.
Changing map.
Means gonna start pushing through. The info comes through. Pinch Puncher can't get back up. Just Jalen with the triples able to close that down. And Miguel's not gonna be able to get the free frag either. Jalen with the quad kill to keep Loyola in it. A very badly needed one. Very well coordinated attacks. Very well isolated roamers. And at the very end there, they just knew what they needed to do. They baited out with memes, pushing in and triggering the Fenrir. So Fenrir stared exactly at that. And then the lounge swing came out. It was very well played. They very well read it to their attack, their defensive side. And I feel like Loyola, that is what I want to be seeing. That's what I want to see for 2 more rounds to push us to overtime. And hopefully that map 3, Carpi.
I mean, for me, I'd love to see a map 3. You know, I like taking all the games to their max amount of maps because, you know, for me as a caster, it gives
Defenders,
me
protect your
more
bombs
in
from being
depth
defused
on
by
how this
attackers.
team plays, you know, how they move, you know, even sometimes how they communicate, because you can tell quite a lot from a team basing off of movement and communication. You can tell if a team's, you know, not moving as quickly, as fastly, or together as a unit, then you can tell their communication might not be as great as you think it is. Now, Loyola, they did this last time. They, was it 4-7? I believe we ended quarter on that.
For insertion.
Yeah. So all they have to do
5
is
seconds to
push
insertion.
past. They've done the tertiary site. They don't have to go back to the tertiary site.
Attacker's objective is to
That's
locate
it, I'm
and
sorry.
defuse it.
I've completely mixed up the teams here. Ignore what I've just said. Loyola, they didn't push past the 4-6 scoreline on border. They've got a second chance opportunity, a redemption, if you will. The real question is, are they going to be able to redeem themselves in the eyes of the NECC community?
Well, the big challenge for Loyola, great like you say, is Texas A&M have gone to that tertiary site. That tertiary site's out the way now. They've said, well, if we're going to lose a round, it might as well be this one. Let's not leave it go all the possible way, and then just have to go to that site. Miguel Dobbs going to start things off with that first pick on GI. Jalen goes through that, and here he gets picked off, and Miguel Dobbs tries to take control of it, but that's not going to happen. The crossfire from which has by now. Wise and Styles is still on this top floor. The question is, have the attackers got what it takes to clear it out? Yes, they do. This is the adaptation we need to see. A much stronger focus on that roam player. And most importantly, they're not leaving anything to chance. They are not letting Wise and Styles catch them out like they did that last time. They are coming for that 5-6 scoreline, Carpi, and most importantly, they have that information. So suddenly, the tides turn very heavily. A lot of details just being removed by those default cameras for the defenders because they're going to shoot them. So the attackers cannot see these key positions. But on the flip side, the defenders have lost a lot of information regardless. Vertical play starts out with that halfway mark in the round. None of these hatches have been opened up just yet. But I think Loyola, they're in a very, very good spot, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they really are. 4 versus 3, Intel and camera on their sides. A couple EMPs in the pocket. I mean, they may have just gone out now, but they've got a minute on the board. They've got Ram as well. Lion may be gone, but you still have some sort of distraction for Mr. Douglas Cole here. Just gonna see memes open up the hatch. It's gonna be the kitchen hatch, and it looks like it is gonna have to be a kitchen drop here, like Texas A&M have played on Loyola. Loyola are gonna have to do it in reverse, and they're gonna have to take the B bomb site now.
Attackers have
Mr.
located a
Lyra,
bomb.
in that double door, just cautiously, because he is aware that someone might waltz fall from that hatch, but someone's right in the double door. I believe it's Memes who's gonna get picked off. No, sorry, just Jalen's gonna fall to the arms of Joe Hashish, but Mr. Lyro, this is why you don't play with that reload button. Fincher's gonna get
15
picked off by
seconds
Mary
remaining.
Poppinoff. That's a bad place to pull out a goo, but Mary Poppinoff says, not today, Carpi. You're not gonna tell me where and when I can pull those goos out. I'm gonna do it anyway and get my team the round. Ooh.
And speaking of the round, one more round, Carpi, to get us to overtime for Loyola. And what a dominant way to do it. I mean, they dominated, they crushed it on that top floor room clear. That was much, much better. That was very much what I wanted to see from them as improvements go. And then looking towards that bottom floor, the distraction was there. Texas A&M, I don't think they were aware that because of this player coming down main, the Armory, the AK case player, wasn't holding that corridor. As such, a player was able to push up, goes to Moto. The Legion is distracted with that hatch, isn't able to win that gunfight. Suddenly, that corridor opens up even more because they're not able to get swung from by the player in church. And then the player just behind, putting that pressure on blue was huge. If you're pinch conscious playing case, you're able to get a couple of kills, but that's where that player in blue came in. You just simply don't have enough ammo. Very well played from Loyola. They realized what they needed to weaken. They realized when it was right to push in. That was a really well played game of Siege. I can't fault them for that.
No, you can't. The room clear was there. It takes your box for the room clearing. You know, they may have lost a player, but they were able to cement it out with 2 kills in their
10
favor.
seconds to go.
Not only that, but their big kills, Solace, one of the most overpowered
5 seconds
operators in the game. You know, purely because of the amount that
Attackers are
gadget
moving
can
out to
do
locate a
and mess
bomb and
with.
defuse it.
Wiser is finally going to manage to get that drone blocker down, and I like the way that they've been using this. You know, you don't see it often. You don't really see teams using these drone blockers, the screens, if you may refer to them as that. You don't really see it a lot. So I like the way that they're incorporating the screens into their gameplay. With Drip is going to see that they're setting up cache, and they might be able to catch them with their pants down if they move quick and swiftly. Gonna look to take Garage now. 5 versus 5. 2 minutes 20 on the board. Loyola, it's everything or nothing for them right now.
Really is. Texas A&M, though, in the same vein, it's all or nothing. I mean, if this goes, they're going to match, they go on to overtime. We said Loyola Gray, they have to perform a really strong game of Siege. And that's something they will have done. There's 3 rounds on the trot there. They played it extraordinarily well to get to this point. They just need to lock things down.
I'm reloading.
Rotating construction will allow an ease of escape. However, it gives the attackers just as much ease of rotation. Utility goes off that red wall. Wiser forced to back off. Suddenly that construction rotate is going to make life even harder. The attackers can get aggressive. The attackers can deal with a lot of this utility. And as they take construction, they take CCTV and red stairs, the drones will start to go through. Wiser Size's position will be spotted, and the players waiting to try and cut them off will not be able to find the kill. Half that round's been wasted, Carpi. Is it long enough?
Oh, I don't know, Muhcreedy, but I tell you one thing, Loyola have upped the drone game. They've taken it much more seriously this round because they know it's everything or nothing right now. Miguel's going to peek the hatch, and Texas A&M probably feeling pretty good right now, just over a minute left on the round, and they know it's a pretty one-sided push as of now. They know they've got the angles to hold them. They need someone to get a kill, and speaking of, Mary Poppinoff is going to open it up onto their top rack, and they're going to get another one as Ivy hugs down to Miguel. The 2 kills are going to come up, and that's it. The round is over. Loyola, they're taking us to overtime.
Yes, they are. A huge triple kill to close things down there. And get us out of regulation, Carpi. The execution on the site was amazing there. We saw the bug explode into Logi, able to find that Azami. Suddenly that crossfire over towards that construction door was taken away immediately. And then it just sort of explodes onto site. It just rolls. It's like a snowball. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. No, it's not an avalanche. It is the Loyola Great Attack. I can see why you get confused. Very, very, very well played from them. And they're going back on the attack. So that momentum rolls exactly with them. I pegged them for an attacking side, and they certainly have
on the spot. Nail on the head, Muhcreedy.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
You know, you said they were going to prove themselves on attack, and they did. They did indeed. I feel like now it's an overtime moment. You know, every single second counts. And I like the way that Loyola last round, they stepped up the droning. They really did. You could see Legendary really proving himself as a hard support there, droning everyone in, making sure that Texas A&M aren't going to pull a sneaky one and hide in a corner whilst you've opened a breach. He was really proving his point. So, you know,
10 seconds to go.
well played to Legendary because,
5
you know,
seconds to go.
hard support isn't a role, you know, that you see
Attackers
as
objective
much
is
as
to locate a
nowadays.
bomb
I
and
feel the
defuse
meta
it.
has changed. I feel you used to get a hard support, a soft support, a flex, and 2 entries, or 2 fraggers, if you may say. But nowadays, you're more so, you know, you don't see your hard and soft supports. You mainly see 3 flexible players, you know, and the fact they're able to play Ace with Habana. You don't really see Thermite come up. So I like legit sticking to the route of OGC. But why is this dice? He's gonna cross paths there, but no one is gonna be spotted. You see the vert coming out of Mary popping off. The roam game isn't quite as strong this time from Texas A&M. They've not opted for the top floor hold here, but more or less they've opted to spread wider out towards the western part of the map with Wisest Eyes and Miguel, I believe it is, sitting over there in strip. Yeah, it is. The drones are going to come up, and there you go. Miguel Dubs going to be droned out there.
Not Wisest Eyes, but if the Loyola have hit their stride with this attack, they will find out very quickly that that player is there. Texas A&M, they might not be fancying this roaming game because of how quickly it got shut down in the last couple of rounds. Loyola Grey have been very good at isolating and working out what is needed to deal with these positions, these little sticks in the mud. And I think Wisest Eyes is waiting for Miguel Dubs to get pushed down. The drones aren't really coming through, but it's going to be Finker who face speaks, and then suddenly Wisest Eyes looks for a second kill, is able to find it, looks to take control in this overtime, get that momentum right back from Loyola, but right now, that's going to be dragging the attackers on to take them out. Now these 2 defenders have that opportunity to get these crossfires. They can reorg, they can get themselves consolidated. Wisest Eyes not going to be holding the angle they need though, and suddenly that means Miguel will be on their own, because they know the Fenrir is over there. They need to clear that strip club. And Miguel Dubs is going to hold that position.
A bomb
As they take the cameras, they don't know, they forget the Fenrir is there. And suddenly, the attackers start to look downwards. They do not look over towards that west side. And with a player disadvantage, this might be deadly, Carpi.
Yeah, it really might be. Miguel, he's hidden himself. He's tucked himself all the way over in the strip closet there. And Loyola Grey are blissfully unaware as of now. The drip gonna look to push towards down Baloo. They might be able to make a play if they're smart enough, but the drip's gonna take a hefty amount of damage. But so is Mr. Lyro. Who's gonna get the kill? It's gonna be Mr. Lyro, but he's gonna be immediately traded out by Memes there on the Habana. Maybe popping off. Got the vert to work with. The hatch is open. He's got to go for it. If now is now, now is now. He's not going to be able to find the kill though. And Miguel, he's going to come for the flank. The last second. He's going to find Mary Poppinoff's head there. And that's going to leave Texas A&M taking another round.
I can look at the time getting as low as it was. I can forgive that if we did see that completion of that room clear. But I think Loyola, you got to remember, if you've just lost 2 players to it and you've killed 1 guy, you have to assume that anywhere that you haven't been at that point has an enemy in it. They let Miguel just get away with it. It was such a really good opportunity. 2 players out in that room clear towards strip club, and they both backed off. If they committed, wasted that little bit extra time going for that push, they take out Miguel, looking towards the end of that round. That flank wouldn't have been there. That vertical play would still be there. The crossfire, at least. Memes wouldn't be alone in blue trying to get aggressive. Memes wouldn't be taking these 1v2 gunfights by themselves. And that vertical play would remain firmly in control of the attack.
Need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
If they just stuck with that drone and got it that little bit further.
Yeah, I mean, Loyola wasn't the best of their decisions as of yet, and I was complimenting the droning, but this time they sort of lacked a bit on the overtime round, and I feel Loyola
overall
might be one of these.
Much better though.
It was overall much better than what they've been doing. I feel like Loyola, they're one of these teams that they really need to feel the pressure to pop off. So once again, they're in
10
that
seconds to
situation.
insertion.
It's all or nothing. If you want to go to
5 seconds remaining.
maximum amount of rounds, maximum amount of minutes played, maximum seconds, then you
Attackers
have
must
to
locate
win
and defuse
this
the bomb.
round. Texas A&M are on the attack. Now Texas A&M, we've seen them struggle on this site. I don't think they've won it actually. Have they? I don't believe they have. You know, you might chat, you might be able to quote me on that later. You might be able to tell me, Carpi, you're completely wrong if they have won this site. But I don't think they have. So Texas A&M might be struggling mentally right now because they've lost this twice, and they might be about to lose it for the third time.
Yes, but not if they can do anything about it. This droning is coming through now. Texas A&M on their attack weren't necessarily the strongest team on there,
Inhabiting Gemini.
but I feel like their attack can certainly find some traction on this site.
Yeah.
A Renegade is going to be taken down over towards Garage, and McGraw could start getting some information with those Gemini drones, but has to be very careful. We've seen quite a bit the danger of that second roamer down in Garage. I don't think that's anything any of the attackers want to give up, especially not in this late stage of this series.
Yeah, and now, as like you said, it's the late stage in the series, but as the seconds tick away by, it gets later and later into the round, and
Bomb
just
located by
Jalen's position
attackers.
becomes more and more deadlier. As he's got the head holes, he's going to be able to pick off the Yana clone there. For a second, I thought that he actually killed the Yana, but it was just legit taking a hefty amount of damage there as he sits up in rafters.
Why is this times
Attackers
again?
drop the
Going
diffuser.
to be heading down below. It's going to be Memes that gets that opening kill. Takes down Joe Hashish, but that breach is open. Wiser Size is able to find that refrag, and in doing so, will be able to open up rafters. But the play is still down below, and Memes
Attackers have recovered their
for a
diffuser.
bucket. It's ready
Attackers
to
have dropped the bomb
blow
diffuser.
and out. Good luck. Track Stingers deployed will make that life a little bit harder to go for the flank, but a sufficiently determined defender will not stop that from getting them that win. Just Jalen in such a position here, able to hold that bottom garage as soon as the commit comes onto rafters. Mary popping off, gets taken down. Suddenly, just Jalen going for that peak could undo everything Texas A&M have worked so hard to achieve. Not going to happen right now. Pinch Conch able to find another pick. 2 players on the site still have that C4 in pocket if they want to drop. But 30 seconds, every second gets more valuable. Pinch Conch goes down. And takes down the attackers. They have to start making their move. The Raptors players have to move into the line of sight of Memes. And as the nades start to fly through, and Pinch Conch is down on the ground, it's going to be McQuell Dobbs able to find Marion popping off. That player down below is taken away off the board. And Fred stares. It's going to get taken down. Mr. Lara can go for the plan. It's all down to Memes in the 1 versus 3. That doesn't get the kill. Wisest Eye is going to close things down. Texas A&M secure that 2-0 scoreline. My God, it did not feel like that, Carpi.
No, it really didn't. It almost felt that we were on map 3 there for a second. But Texas